Here's how you extract data from text using regex in Bubble without learning the syntax. Before we get into this example, I'm going to give a brief introduction on regex. Regex is short for regular expression, which is a very powerful tool that is used in pattern matching. It's basically like doing a search on plain text with a specific pattern in mind, and it outputs the list of texts that match that pattern. In the first example, we're going to do a simple validation for email. This is already present in Bubble's inbuilt inputs, but in case you want to use it in conditionals and other places like that, it's helpful to use regex. So here we'll take an input from the user, and then on clicking verify, it checks if that input is in the correct format. This can also be done with other inputs like mobile numbers and things like that. So to access it, it will look pretty much like this: extract with regex. To get this expression, we must use it on a text value. Evaluates to text. This extract with regex takes a regex pattern. Now this regex pattern can easily be generated by chatgpt. All you need to do is provide a prompt. Create a regex for validating an email. Copy that code here and then paste it in the regex pattern. After this expression, it outputs us with a list of texts that match this pattern. So in this scenario, what we're doing is we're checking if the first item is empty. If the first item is empty, that means it has not matched any values, and hence the email format is incorrect. If it matches a value and the first item is not empty, then we show the user a success message. We can test this out here. So if I put some plain text without the correct format and I click verify, I get the notification that this email is not valid. Now if I add a domain, it shows me success. Now the beauty of regex is we do not have to specify an exact value. Instead, we specify a pattern. So even if the user puts a domain which is not Gmail, still it will validate correctly. Now we will move to a more complex example. In this scenario, we're trying to extract data from a transaction email that is sent by a bank. The data that we want to extract is vendor, amount, and transaction date. For each of the values, we would require a separate regex. Now to generate the regex, all we need to do is provide chatgpt with the sample text, which is this value here, and tell it that we want to extract the amount, vendor, and transaction date from this in 3 separate regex. So here we pass a prompt here where we create 3 separate regex for extracting the amount. We specify how the amount should look as the output, the vendor name, how the output should look, and then we pass in the input. Then chatgpt will output us with each regex. We take the regex values, copy them, and then we paste them in our expression. So here we are using the similar expression, a variable's text, which is the input, extract with regex, and we have pasted the regex pattern. So now if we would go to test this, you would see that once you click on the extract button, it has already extracted the vendor, the amount, and the transaction date. That's pretty much it from our side regarding regex. Most users are afraid of the syntax, and as you can see, with the help of chatgpt, you can easily create the expressions without any prior knowledge of the syntax. Hopefully this helped you. Thanks for watching.